Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
There's Mr. Enfuego, one half of the Baseball Junkies podcast. Before we get the show going, we just want to make sure that both you, the viewer, and the listener are fully aware that this podcast is not intended to provide any form of investment advice. The opinions expressed here by either the host or any guest do not necessarily reflect the views of any sports card investor, organization, and or entity within the sports card market. Any discussion of sports card values in the past or present is not a guarantee of future performance. Two collectors with a common love of baseball cards. A league of her own, Mr. Enfuego. Welcome to the Baseball Junkies podcast.
Welcome to the Baseball Card Junkies podcast. I'm your host, Adrian from A League of Her Own on YouTube.
And I'm your boy, Mr. Enfuego.
You guys, for the second week in a row, I'm pumped. We've got an amazing guest today. A lot of you might already know who. It's going to be great. How you feeling, Mr. Enfuego? How you doing?
I'm feeling good. I was looking forward to this all week.
Me too. We've been working hard, guys. We're trying to make things fun and exciting, and I'm really excited about our guest today. We're gonna get right into it. We're not gonna wait. We're bringing him on. The one, the only Striker Breaks.
Hello. How are you this wonderful evening?
Oh, we are a little bit too excited. We're just baseball card nerds loving life. I tell you what.
I got to tell you, the disclaimer at the beginning,
Yes.
it made me feel like I was getting ready to get onto a roller coaster or something. To your point, I got to tell you, like, just be careful. There's a lot that might happen. You might get hurt. I don't know.
Yeah, hence
Just got
that
back to
contract
Universal
we sent
Studios
you.
and they
That
had all
contract we
that.
sent you beforehand that you're
Yeah.
at your own risk.
I'm a little nervous now. Just kidding.
Striker, thank you so much for being here tonight. We really, really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Really excited to get your take on a lot of things, get to know you better. I'm thinking a lot of people here tonight are gonna really know who you are, but just in case if not, we're hoping we're gonna share your wealth of information, your YouTube channel, which I got in the description, guys, and I'll put it here in the chat in a moment and pin it up top. Your website, your eBay page, your Patreon, all your things, because if you collect baseball cards in any capacity, way, shape, or form, you should be watching Striker Breaks.
And if
on
you're
YouTube.
not into YouTube and you're going to be listening to us on your favorite format for the regular podcast and you're into baseball cards, this will probably entice your attention in dabbling in YouTube going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. If you are getting back into the hobby or you have a budget or something, anything you can think of baseball card related, Striker's going to have some good videos and information for you. And let's get into it. Striker, tell us, how did you get into baseball card collecting and hence get into this whole YouTube channel and what have you? How did it all begin?
Well, I started collecting when I was a kid, so it kind of goes way back. A lot of people share the same story that got back into it right around 2020, maybe right before. I think a lot of people got back into baseball cards 2018. The Ohtani craze was real. That's kind of what reignited my passion. But when I was a kid, all the way back to, I remember I think 89, 90, and the Pistons were doing really good. They were in the midst of winning back-to-back championships. So basketball was big where I was from, the Bad Boys, and they started having basketball card packs at all the stores, grocery stores. There was a store downtown that sold sports gear and memorabilia. They had packs. Gas stations had packs. Every place had packs.
Mm-hmm.
We had a local sports card shop, and we'd hit up the sports card shop. So I was buying basketball cards, chasing Jordans. It was all about Jordans. And my cousin was into it too. So it always helps when you have like a close friend or family member or something that collects. You can, open packs together and bounce ideas off of them and do trades. And we would go on vacations up north, just to like a cabin up north, no TV, no nothing, but we'd take our cards.
Right.
And try to find someone to trade with around there. There's always like a kid in a cabin with their parents right down the road. And hey, bring your cards over. And we'd sit down there by the water and trading cards, trying to, I'd try to get a Jordan off of them. And I'd trade you all my cards for this one Jordan.
Yeah.
And then inevitably, it was probably, I was probably about 15, 16. As soon as I was able to drive and I learned about girls, cards were done. I didn't care at all about cards anymore. It was all about girls.
Yeah.
So high school, college, didn't think too much about cards, but every once in a while I would still go down the pack aisle because I still brought me back, something about it. You go away for a while and I wonder what kind of packs there are these days. They still got, so I'd go down the pack aisle, buy a pack every once in a while. And then right around the time, it was the Ohtani thing, but do you guys remember the Jordan PMG that was a record sale for the green PMG Jordan?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And I was collecting at that time. I wonder if I have that card because I was collecting Metal Universe. I remember buying packs. So I went to my parents, got my big thing of cards, big tub of cards from when I was a kid. brought it back home, and I spread everything. And I'm a grown man at this point, you know. I got a kid and a wife, and I'm like, I spread my cards all over the ground. I'm like looking through. I'm like, no way. I got so many sweet Jordans. Turns out some of them are pretty valuable, but no PMGs.
Right.
I'm like, man, I want to buy a pack. That just made me want to buy a pack.
Yeah.
So you was fortunate that your parents didn't throw away half your collection.
Oh, they were ready to. And they said, you better get these out of here. That same story. Everybody's heard. Better get your cards out of here. We're going to throw them away. My dad threatened me. I was like, I'll get them. He's like, son, we're going to throw these away. And I was like, okay. So it kind of correlated with all this. Went and got my bins, brought them back, looked at them. Thank God they didn't throw away. I even hid some back in the day. I remember because I knew that this time was going to come where I'm going to go off to college. They're going to throw my stuff away. So I hid some in the attic. And I remembered where my secret hiding spot was. Of course, there wasn't much in there to talk about, but I looked through them and I had to buy some packs. So I actually went to Walmart and they had 2018 update. And I didn't know anything. Is this the stuff? Is this good? So bought a couple of hangers. They were on clearance at the time. And you probably remember that. Like, dude, you could get clearance 2018 update for like 30% off.
Yeah.
It was so cheap. I bought all of it and not even knowing. Oh, I didn't even set aside Acuna's. I don't know if I even knew Soto. I knew Ohtani though.
Yeah.
So I'm like pulling all the Ohtanis out and sleeving them. Actually, I didn't even have sleeves. Putting them in books.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Just put them in books.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
Next best
And I went to
thing.
the card shop and I asked the guy because I wanted to buy an actual box. And around this time, I think had to been maybe 2019 Series 1 time or a little bit before. But I remember I bought a box and I said, hey, do you have any of those books with pages in them? And he looked at me like I was insane. He's like, what do you need that for? He said, I don't know, put my cards in there. And he just shook his head. He's like, I got some pages. So he sold me like 10 of those little booklet pages. And I put them in and I'm going through, I think it was 2019 Series 1. And they had the little medallions. Remember the stamped?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Putting all of my medallions in there. Oh, these are cool. And putting like a couple of rainbow foils, collecting all the different ones. And then I started looking into it because now I'm kind of getting back in. And there wasn't any good resources really on YouTube. There was a couple channels, but there wasn't anything like, here's the product, here's what's good, here's who you're looking for, here's the different kinds of packs, here's what's coming out, look out for none of that. So maybe I should do that. I don't know. I always wanted to make a YouTube video. And years and years and years of, I want to make a YouTube video. Never did. Finally, I forced myself to do it. I'm going to do it today. And I recorded one. I was like, this is super easy. Way easier than I thought. You just,
Nice.
I mean, everybody's got cell phone. You just hit the button and it uploads and you're done.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into it.
Okay. Well, since you brought up the whole YouTube thing, you know, and I'm going to assume you've been in it longer than a day, obviously. I'm pretty sure you've had days where you've enjoyed making those videos and you've had those days where, man, do I really want to make a video? I mean, what are some likes or dislikes about doing videos that stick out to you most?
Yeah, it's all about motivation. It can get really draining, and burnout is a real thing. You hear that from like content creators and things like that, like burnout. Never really know until you put your pedal to the metal and start pumping things out like every day, another video every day. Or if you have an actual like career or job or family, all of it. And there's only so much time.
Right.
So you got to, at some point, make a decision. Like, is this what I'm going to do? Try to do this for a living? Or am I just doing this for fun? Just posting stuff for fun? So burnout is a real thing. And I've gone through a lot of phases where I'll go really hard and just like put out a video every day. And after a while, you're just so exhausted because all these other aspects of your life need you too. And if you don't put everything you got into it, probably not gonna like explode into, I don't know, where you can like make a living at it if that's what you want to do.
Right.
But those are some cons. The biggest con probably is dealing with the haters.
Mm.
There's no matter what you do, no matter what you say, you're gonna get trolls and haters.
Yeah, there's
And
always one.
Mhm.
it's a small amount for me at least. Some people more, but small amount, maybe like 0.1%.
Mm.
Okay, but it's a numbers game. So if you get 1,000 views, okay, there's one hater. If you get 10,000, there's 10. If you get 100,000, so there's going to be some. And a lot of times, it's not. I think it's not that people hate you. It's just that maybe they're under the influence of something and it's late at night and they're just mad at the world and they're taking it out on you. But to
Right.
learn how to deal with that and like let it roll off you, don't take it to sleep because sometimes
Yeah.
like when people come in and they'll say some nasty stuff and it's like it dwells with you, even though it's like this is just some stranger. I don't even know if it's a real person, could be a bot, troll, I don't know
Right.
what, but it still sticks with you and that can be tough.
Definitely.
Yeah. So overall, making videos and that grind every day. I'm just curious, but going live, pre-recorded video, you prefer one over the other? Is it all the same? You know, what do
Oh,
you?
so here's the thing with the difference. I've kind of been, and I didn't realize this, which is sounds weird, but you know how it's know thyself. You know, you should know thyself, know yourself, know who you are, what you are. But that's really to be introspective like that and know what you are, who you are, what do you like. If you had to describe yourself to somebody, like it's tough to do. You know yourself? So I kind of realized that I think I'm just like a natural entertainer because when I look back at my life, I'm looking at every step of my life, I've kind of done something that's either in front of a crowd or in front of people or like music. Um, I was in I was in bands for basically my whole life, either band or choir. So you're performing in front of people. And then I was in a rock band. So I was like the lead singer of a rock band in front of people. And then making YouTube videos, and I've been in plays and I've been like done all this stuff. And I was a communication major in college. So I'm like up in front of the class, giving speeches and presentations and lectures. And it kind of that's the live aspect of it where I can just go live in front of people for hours and hours and hours. It doesn't bother me at all. Just free flowing, improv, spitting, bouncing things off the chat. It's pretty easy. But for the videos, that's the more artistic angle where it's kind of an artistic outlet. You can do all kinds of different things if you want to, if you know how to edit graphics, things like that. So I can't say that one is like a more favorite, like would I rather live stream or break? It just kind of depends. Like I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but live streaming, it seems like well, when you make a video, you get more growth. So you get more subscribers when you make a video. But from a monetary standpoint, tend to get more financial benefits from doing a live stream because it's longer
Right.
Mhm.
and people watch more tech. Because if you got like an hour long stream, you know, they're going to watch whatever the percentage is. Everybody's got a percent that people watch. And so if you're monetized, then you're going to get more ad revenue for that, but you're not going to grow. New people don't come along and watch your live streams. Just for some reason, that's how the YouTube algorithm, they don't promote it to new people. So you got to make videos. They will put those out to new people if you want to grow. So it's a combination of how much do you want to grow? How much do you want to make? Is that important to you? What's funner? So it's kind of all over the board.
Definitely. But
Cool.
as far as we're gonna stick to basically kind of like the schedule, which there's really not much change, Adrian.
Yeah. Yeah, Striker. We're going to bring you along for the ride here on the podcast. And for those of you listening, watching, we're going to bring you the latest information here. We're going to start off with the upcoming releases in baseball cards. So let's get it. Let's get it here. Let me run this beautiful bean footage here. All right, guys, nothing too crazy. We have talked about this in previous weeks because there's kind of a gap between baseball cards right now. Upcoming releases, we've talked about this in previous weeks, so I'm not going to deep dive into it. But coming out first, March 13th, we've got the 2024 Topps Archives Signature Series. It's the one card box with a encased, signed, numbered stamped card. Those are running about $90. We also have 2023 Bowman Inception, March 15th, about 165, 7-card box. And the date has changed, got pushed back a little bit for the Panini Extra Elite Edition, about $100 hobby bucks, and that's coming out on March 27th. Striker. Of those 3 products, which are you most excited for?
Most excited, probably Bowman Inception, but I've grown to like archives more just because of last year's. So Bowman Inception, you get your 2 autos in the box. Regular Inception was 1, but I'm pretty sure Bowman Inception's 2, right? I
Yes.
usually don't do a ton of that, but
Yeah.
this year I'm going to do a little bit more because we've got a gap in between and a lot of good Bowman prospects to be looking out for. Some that are going to be making their debut this season. So I think we're going to have some fairly affordable autographs. Now, from a $1 per autograph standpoint, it's a pretty good release. And the cards, premium card stock, thick card stock, you get parallels, you get autos. So that's going to be fun to rip. But archives, last year's was really good. And in the past, I've actually not liked it at all. Those signature series boxes,
Right.
one hit, not a lot of
Yeah.
bang. You're just like, open it up. There's one card. Yay. If it's not a banger, even if it is, it's like, okay, now that's it. It's over.
That's it.
There's my
Yeah,
80 bucks.
exactly.
But so many 101s came out from last year's archive signature series. I don't know if you guys ripped much of that, but I did several cases, multiple 101s out of a case. And if they continue that, pretty
I know
good.
for a fact we didn't rip a lot. We watch you rip a lot. That's one of the things why we love you, because we can live vicariously through you for products like that, which are, I know I say this a lot, guys, it's really like a lottery ticket. You either or you win big. So
I mean,
it's about the
some of
checklist.
us, some of us try to look at the positive. At least it's a Hall of Famer. I mean, it may not be the Hall of Famer you're looking for, but you get what you get.
Right.
yes,
And
but
with that,
it's
you can
not.
go buy singles. Like a lot of those that come out of there, like everything, but the singles are going to be much, much cheaper for a lot of that stuff.
Right.
However, how sweet is it to pull a 101 and have a good shot at it? How many of you pulled in your days? I know from my personal rips, only a couple, only a few. So to actually get one feels good.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Okay. We're going to move right along and talk about reviews, stuff we have been opening or seeing rip that's out and about. We got 2024 Topps Series 1 flagship, and we've got 2023 5-star. I don't care who you are. If you're into baseball cards, it's always a very exciting time of the year to open up the Series 1. Football, Super Bowl is come and gone. Spring training starting. You're getting back into baseball, and this product comes out, and you're getting the new rookies. A lot of the good rookies are people that kind of came up at the end of the last season, and you haven't had any Topps cards of them just yet. You just have your Bowman prospect cards that people are going crazy for, but now we're getting first true rookies. I can't get enough of watching it. And I really worked hard, limited myself to opening it, a ton of it. I did open some because how could you not? But how are you feeling about Series 1 so far?
I'm loving Series 1. This is the best Series 1 that I can remember.
Love it.
They added so much, and they made it so that all the different formats, and some people don't like this, but I like it. All the different formats have a little unique chase to it, and it's just making it entertaining. And in the past, okay, if you get a blaster box, it's going to have the same cards as a hanger box, as a mega box, as a hobby, essentially. Now, maybe there's an exclusive in a hobby jumbo with the gold foils, hobby boxes with the clear cards, silver packs. But outside of that, you'd have to go Walgreens hanger box to get the exclusive yellows. And people would chase that and pay a ton of money for those. Secondary market, man. People go to Walgreens and just buy them all up, put them on the secondary market, double their money, repeat. Drive all the way around. So nowadays, this year especially, with all these cool little Easter eggs they're putting in, I'm loving it. I'm loving ripping it. I'm loving watching it. I'm loving doing breaks with it. It hasn't gotten old yet, and usually stuff gets old for me. after several cases of it. It's just same
Right.
old thing. But there's so many chase cards and different ways to rip. It's like I actually want to open some more for my PC, and which I will.
Those
So-
the Fanatic boxes with the aquas, the hangers with the yellows, and the thing, I agree. Like I opened some hangers, and those yellows were in there, but you also there were inserts, and you'd probably get a rainbow foil, or you could get a number card. It has been a lot of fun, and I watched your video on the Fanatics boxes, and you like stopped mid video to order more, and I'm like, oh, I got to get on there.
Real.
Yeah.
I
That
knew right
I love
away.
it. I love it. It's like, because that's how it is. It's like, oh, I better get this now, or it's going to be gone. And it was gone. Not much longer after, an hour or two later, all gone on Fanatics. And for a Fanatics box, blaster box, but not really. You got more cards. It was a little bit, tiny bit more, $5 more.
2 more packs, right?
Yeah,
9
more cards,
instead of
and
7.
those aquas, awesome. And then if you, budget wise, I feel like if people, you don't have crazy money, like hanger box it's awesome. You're gonna get 2 yellows in there, and with the amount of rookies this year, chances are it's great. Which we're talking review of products right now, but I don't know if you have a take on this, like since Fanatics, because I feel like this is the end of 23, beginning of 24. We're really getting a feel of Fanatics in with Topps right now. And I mean, you got to say, with the way things are running right now, just the design alone, I feel like this is a baseball card like we've never seen, with the neon and all that design wise. How do you feel about Fanatics since they've been in the game? Do you have a take on it, or?
Yeah. Well, first of all, the card design, like you were just talking about, with the foil on there, so cool. The neon foil that goes around.
Right.
Everybody was asking my take on the design before it came out, and I was like, yeah, looks cool. I mean, I kind of like all new designs when they come out. I'm a sucker like that. Like, it's just new. I love it.
Yeah.
But then when you actually see it and you see the light refracting off of it, it's like,
Yeah.
oh man, it's a nice touch. And there's no quality issues that I've seen with like that foil peeling off or anything. It's just kind of like in the card, which that would be a issue if it's sticking. We're talking about bricking or whatever. But
Right.
from how is Fanatics doing? So it's hit or miss. They've had some mistakes, but they're rectifying their mistakes, which it's really all you can ask for, because they don't have to. They could just all these things that went wrong, brush it under the rug. Who cares? We're not going to respond. We're not going to do anything about it. Let these people eat crow.
Yeah.
They are responding, and they're making good on everything that has gone wrong to the best that they can, and over and above. It's like the 101 situation. Remember with the
first stamp.
The money they were offering to buy those back.
Oh yeah.
Super, yeah. And now with like Mr. Fuego was talking about the first issue cards, I actually love this. I love that mistake, to be honest with you, because now everyone's like, oh, go back through all my base cards now. And some of us do that already anyway, but a lot of people, they don't even look at the paper. They just pull it off to the side and go. And now it's like, ooh, you're going to have to spend some quality time with your cards now. And I don't know.
That's just one tidbit. I mean, now, with everything, with all these new releases that come out, you've got your exclusives per format and everything. But what about those extra eggs that Fanatics has been throwing in? For example, you got this Kevin Hart chase.
Yes.
Yeah. I have yet to see one pulled.
Me too. I haven't either.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's.
I haven't seen one pulled.
I think that kind of like
eBay.
It kind of brings a new twist to collecting, maybe.
It's awesome. How could you not like it?
Yeah.
We're collecting. There anything new, anything cool, they don't have to do it. They're doing it, and it's making it's more exciting. It's the thrill of the chase.
Yeah.
I'm not like a huge Kevin Hart fan, but I'd love to pull one of those cards. How cool. And the fact that he's like, the thing I really like about it is he leans into the joke, the 5'2" thing, and he jokes around about it, and he's not like a jerk about it. He's just like having fun with it.
Right.
And so it goes across markets. So there's a lot of people who might get into baseball cards that just like his comedy, and
Mhm.
that's cool.
Mhm.
Like we want more people in the hobby. More people in the hobby, the better, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
As,
I
as long as it's positive, I guess.
Yeah, I
I'm not.
mean, it's with the Kevin Harts, and then in the past you had your Frozen Fractors, your Taco Fractors. I mean, nice twist. You know,
Mhm.
it kind of caught me off guard, but in a good way. When I saw first Bowman of Babe Ruth, I was like, wow, okay,
Yeah.
that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
do. I talked a
gimmicky.
lot of smack about the Easter cards before. I was like, "What the heck?" But now I'm kind of now my niece is like, Easter egg or rabbits on my baseball cards. Sign me up, and I'm like, okay, well, that's what it's about right there.
Getting
That
the
was it
kids
for me.
in something that they
Yeah,
like.
Yeah.
'Cause for me,
yeah.
I didn't open any of those. They just started with update, right? Last year, 2023 update with these
Mhm.
holiday parallels, the Halloween ones.
Yeah.
I didn't open any of that because I wasn't a big fan of 2023 update from a PC standpoint.
Right.
Mhm.
There's nothing in there that I'm really chasing. So I didn't do a whole lot of that for my PC. I didn't open any blasters. So this was the first time I actually opened the blasters to see what these holiday parallels are all about. I had a bad experience with my case. I got nothing out of it. So like I'm a little biased and
Yeah. Yeah.
they're not for me. These
Yeah.
little foil parallels, they're not for me. But if the kids like them, that's all that
Yeah.
matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters, really.
There's
Yeah.
an old
And
man. Who cares about me? Like get the kids, make them happy, give them something to
100,
chase.
yeah, 100%. Um, oh man, I know that's the. I'm digging it. I'm digging all the different stuff. There's people, are going to collect all the aquas or all the yellows there's a lot of stuff. And
Definitely.
we talked about it maybe being oversaturated, but I don't feel that way. I feel like some people are focusing in on this, and some people, it's working out. It
I'm
seems
not
to be
seeing it
working out.
everywhere at the retail shops. I don't know about you guys, but it's not like loaded on the shelves when I go in. I'm not
Yeah.
really seeing a whole lot of it. So I think they made the right amount. There's less production
Mhm.
this year than the last 2
We
years.
still have did the super boxes come out yet? Are
The
they out?
super
I haven't.
boxes, they're coming. They're not out yet, but they're
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah. And I know
But I did see somewhere, I just can't recall where, just the base set alone, they're talking about there was at least 900,000 copies of each player per that set,
Mhm.
you
Yep.
know? And I mean, if you strongly feel that there's so many the print run is just crazy, there's plenty of opportunities on doing something with all your doubles, triples, whatever,
Mhm. Yeah.
donate them, give them to some random kids. I mean, they
Yeah.
don't have to sit there and collect real estate in your house.
Yeah.
2021, or was it last year? There were like 1.2 million copies of each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have less. Oh. It's not all
Yeah.
about the base cards anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you
Absolutely.
guys think? Before I forget, what do you guys think about the true photo variations, where none of the stuff is on there? It's just the photo.
Uh
Have you seen many of those?
initially it kind of rubbed us the wrong way because it's
We
like,
thought that was the golden mirror, what they were
yeah,
doing to the golden mirrors, but it's not. Obviously, it's not. I It looks like a stadium club card,
Yeah.
and which whatever. I'm not excited. I'm like not excited about it. I feel like if I pulled one, I'd be like, "Oh, cool," and I'd sell it right away, unless it was
right.
one of my PC players, which um, would be just an Oakland A's because Bo Bichette isn't in. Doesn't have a base card. He'll be in Series 2, FYI. He just has inserts. So, um, eh, nah, eh, yeah,
Oh wow, look at that.
yes,
Just so
that
happen to have one right here.
Okay.
that is beautiful.
That's my
That is
only Beckett
beautiful.
slab, by the way. My friend gave this to me because I'm a
Yeah,
Bo Bichette guy too. I love Bo,
yeah. Oh,
and
Well, you know.
he gives me a 9.95 Beckett. I'm like, oh,
what a cool
what?
card. Yes.
But now, what are our thoughts about 5-star?
Oh, fire. Yeah. So I got really hung up in Series 1. I'm sorry. Yes. What does everybody think about 2023 Topps 5-star?
I'm digging it. The one thing that I've gotten a little bit of feedback about is there's no Tampa Bay Rays on the checklist.
And that's
Oh,
that thing.
Well, when you're doing breaks and you got 30
yeah.
teams and
Yeah.
someone gets the Rays,
Yeah.
not good. But the way I do breaks, I have all kinds of different boxes, so it's not like you're not going to get any Rays.
Right.
You know, there's still Junior Caminero stuff in all the other releases. So they kind of, but anyway, I'm liking it a lot. Those silver signatures and golden graphs are really nice. And the checklist is really good and they're low numbered. And it's relatively affordable for these high-end on-card numbered with game used patches. And I like it.
And Topps actually gave us a beneficial mistake with those boxes too. Get a case. You're bound to have one hobby box that's got 3 cards in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, and just the design of it, like I watch on YouTube a lot, Dynasty Breaks, and he's always mentioning how you've got the foil on the edges of the card itself. There's no chipping, there's nothing like that. So I mean, you do find that card that you decide you want to send it to the upgrade shop, chances of getting that grade that you want might just happen.
I've never sent a 5-star card away, but I did send some Inception for the first time from a thick card standpoint. You know, usually I've heard the horror stories. I've seen them opened. You're not going to get good grades on those thick boys. I just sent a bunch of them away. I'm going to do a PSA reveal maybe tomorrow or Monday. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, the 5-star stuff looks good. I'm not seeing any quality control issues on there. I haven't seen anything actually wrong with them.
Yeah.
Some streaky SIGs. That's the only thing. But you know, if you're using those paint pens, those metallic paint pens, that's tough. I've actually used those to sign some of my striker cards to give away to people. And it opened my eyes. I'm like, oh, that's why we get streak. Because if you don't go really slow with it, they're going to streak. Just going to happen. So that's one problem.
Then you got those people that want to send it to go get graded. They want to grade the card and the autograph.
Yeah, I don't recommend that.
Yeah. Definitely. I did end up picking up JJ Bleday. You know, his rookie cards on the A's with that. No, not rookie. Yeah, rookie. Yeah, it is rookie autos. Yeah, I just sometimes he was on the Marlins first, and I'm an A's fan, and so I prefer that. But there wasn't Bo Bichette didn't have an auto in that, and the A's, you know, as far as A's go, my favorite all time is Ricky Henderson. That would have been a big card in that set, but he's not in that one. So for $20 a JJ Bleday, sign me up. And that the gold foil edge, like, you know, beautiful.
I've been pulling a lot of JJ Bleday autos.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of stuff in 5-star. Yeah. He's got a lot of stuff in general.
Yeah.
I feel like I get a JJ Bleday auto and
he's
every other break.
That's like when,
which is cool. He's a good high-end prospect. You know, we've been talking about Bleday. I remember pulling his autos back when he first had I believe his Bowman draft a few years ago, pulling JJ Bleday stuff, and he was a guy that everybody's looking for.
Everybody was looking for him, and I still think, like, if you really think about it with the A's, good rookies are always on the A's, guys, because they never stay on the A's. You got Sean Murphy. I have some of his cards. He's, you know, doing good stuff with the Braves now. We've got Matt Chapman, who just signed with the Giants, guys. If you guys didn't hear about that, he's going to San Francisco. Matt Olson, you know, sneaky good rookies. I think nobody thinks about, if you're 2023 and you get the A's, you get Esther Ruiz. He's the next base.
Get like 100 steals.
Yeah. So, okay, I am going to break us in the middle of our conversation here. I know we normally go into hobby news at this time, but we are just talking away, which is awesome. It's great. We're going to real quick do trivia for all of those that are hanging out with us live here. Get ready to type in your answers in the chat here, and we'll be shouting out your channel on our website and such. If you're the first one to get the right answer in, let's get ready. Trivia of the week.
Welcome back to the Baseball Card Junkies podcast, where we test your knowledge of the hobby and present to you the trivia of the week. Name this set. Start getting your thinking caps on. This set had a total of 310 cards. Any ideas? This set also included 5 non-players minus the mascots. Should be getting warmer. Some of the inserts included are 8-Bit Baller, Game Day Drip, and Wild Style. Any ideas? If not, the guess is Topps Big League Baseball. I thought I made it easy.
I did too. Everybody's putting in the right answer after.
Right after.
Yeah. So,
I found a Ricky. You were talking about him. I
oh
don't know.
yes.
This is what I got at the National. I had to get a Ricky rookie.
That's awesome. I actually have one of those. Mr. Fuego got me one, and there's a couple other YouTube people that sent me one as well. And one of the when I first got back into grading and card collecting, I had a Ricky Henderson from when I was a kid, and I had it in one of those original screw down. And I used to screw that thing down like, make sure it was good and tight. And I sent it in, and it came back altered. And I, learned like, it was because I had it in that screw down. But I still have that card, and I still love it. But
so hopefully next week, I'm gonna try to make the question for the week a little bit easier this time. So hopefully we actually do get somebody that we could put on the website. And for those who's gonna be listening in on us, if you knew the answer, go ahead and email it to us at baseballjunkies podcast@gmail.com. We're still trying to figure out the best way to get both everybody who's viewing with us live stream and everybody who's going to be listening in, interacting with the trivia of the week. So
yeah, you guys, let us know in the comments. Maybe we should give you like more. I had Mr. Fuego cut that to be so short. Maybe I need to give you a little bit more time between the last hint and the answer, so for you to put in your answer. That could be what it is. We're trying to dial that in, but
got an idea for you.
What you got?
So what you just did, but with each you can give points away. So first hint, 5 points, give them a second, another hint, 4 points, more hints, 7 points.
Whoever's got the most I like it. Good idea.
It'll give me a little more time in between too.
Yeah, just a little. All right. I'm gonna skip onto hobby news now. Sound good, everybody?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna cut right to it because a lot of you out there messaged me, sent different,
I've seen it on the chat like 3 times already.
Seen it on the chat already. Okay, I talked to Mr. Fuego about just stepping out of the box and not talking about this at all, but because so many of you messaged me personally, PSA or Collectors Universe
bought out SGC.
Bought SGC. I don't know what to say about it just yet. It just happened, and if I'm just going off, common sense, for the most part, I only grade with PSA. Have I graded with SGC? Absolutely, and I've had a great experience. If you're looking at as far as things being to resell, PSA is the only way to go. The only exception sometimes to that is SGC with vintage. So when 2 competing companies are now owned by the same company, I know
are they really competing.
I know SGC said that they're still operating, as normal, but I still feel like we got to wait and see. I don't see how that continues to work. I have a dream that SGC gets that side of things, focuses mostly on vintage because they be better at that. Is it going to go that way? I don't know. I heard in a couple other videos I watched, because that was for a couple days, that's the only thing on YouTube when it came to cards. Everybody is talking about it. Is Collectors Universe did that so fanatics wouldn't buy them. So
Fanatics was itching to pick them up too.
So I don't know. If you were grading like crazy with SGC because it was a great deal, there was no up charges and stuff like that, I can see where you would be upset, but I think for the most part, PSA is the way to go. Now, you guys know our secret dark horse is Tag, but Tag still has a long way to go. They can't grade everything. They don't do vintage. They don't do acetate cards. They don't do thicker cards. If Tag gets up to speed with what they're doing and being able to do it for much more things, that to me is a strong competitor. Beckett, I don't even know why we even talk about them anymore. they don't do anything. They just don't do anything for card collecting, in my opinion. Unless their cards from back in the day that were graded and they used to be number one. Maybe you're buying an older card. I don't know. I'm not into that, but
I mean,
it's a wait and see game right now.
it really is. I mean, everybody is more than welcome to give their speculation of what's to happen. Like I kind of mentioned earlier in the week with you, a lot of people are talking about a unified set registry. A lot of people were also talking about, okay, does this mean that the grading scale is going to change? Right now, we're still early on in the whole crawl, walk, run process. And it's going to be like that for a while because they just been acquired. Collectors, they still need to sit down and figure out, okay, how are they going to mesh the two companies together if that's the plan? So as of right now, they're still working independently. And for those that are harping on it, just ride the wave, sit back, put your seatbelt on, and enjoy the ride. As more information comes out, it's going to be published on social media. We'll go from there.
And we talked about this with Stryker a little bit beforehand. Stryker, you want to share your thoughts on this whole news?
Yeah, I mean, I've never used them as a grading company, so I don't really have a dog in the fight. The only thing I could think that would affect me would be if there's less competition, then PSA just hasn't, all the reasons to keep their prices high. They don't have to worry about SGC swooping up a bunch of the business, which, maybe that's what they're doing. I don't really know what the end game is here, but it seems like there's a lot of chess pieces moving around behind the scenes. All I know is if I was SGC and started up a grading company, it would be the dream to have PSA come through and buy me out. I don't know. A lot of people start businesses just to do that, just to get bought out by a bigger company and then boom, retire. So I don't know if that's what's going on here. I really don't have a good take on it because I don't use them. I'm strictly PSA. I've got one Beckett card and everything else is PSA. I like the conformity in my collection, and the value is the highest on those cards. It's kind of the top of the totem pole.
It's funny you say that. The March specials just came out, and then along with that, another email came out with PSA actually dropping their prices slightly. I was just trying to look on their site right now to see.
I think they dropped it $1 and it went from 60 days to 45 days.
Yeah.
But with the rate that they've been going, they've been exceeding those standards.
And just to be completely clear, there are collector club only deals on there, which you pay a yearly fee with PSA to get these good deals. And it does look like they dropped it. Like I'm seeing the trading card, if you're doing Pokemon and stuff like that, it's $14.99 a card with a 45-day turnaround, declared value at 200 or less, 20 minimum on that. The value bulk, which is where, that's the deal people are really going for with that collectors club deal, is $18.99 a card. $500 declared value, 45-day turnaround, which the turnaround time has been a little bit quicker lately. I have experienced. Also with the deal with PSA right now.
Yeah, like right now they got
they got 6 vintage $14.99 a card, and that was 7. What years were those? That was 1960 to 79, and then a couple other, goes up from there as far as quicker turnaround and declared value, which is, I think, what scares a lot of people. When I don't know, a lot of people are scared to send in cards by themselves, and they send them to other people, which I was
at first.
Yeah, everybody was.
Overwhelming.
It's intimidating.
Yeah.
But I do encourage people to go on the site and just check it out and maybe give it a try.
Once you do it once yourself, you're like, this isn't that bad. It really isn't.
So.
I had other people do my first probably, I don't know, half a dozen orders just because I was like, I've never done this before. I don't want to do it. And then I did it once and I was like, what was I doing? Why didn't I just do it this myself the whole time? It's not that hard.
Yeah. And I have people that I send in cards for all the time. I'm happy to, because I think it's more about not knowing what to look for. And I'm
part
not
of it.
perfect, but I do enjoy it. And so
You get
I
the
get
eye
it.
for it
I
too,
get
and
it.
then you're like,
Yeah.
you trust your
Yeah.
eye, and you can then look at raw cards on eBay and stuff and be like,
Yeah.
I think this is
Yeah.
a steal right here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So, all right, guys, let's keep on having some fun here. Oh, I think we touched on this earlier. We did. We talked about Fanatics when we were talking about top Series 1. So I'm going to keep having some fun here. And we're going to talk about the top 5 selling cards of the week. This is based off of Market Movers. Let's see what's selling as far as baseball cards go right now. We'll start with number 5. We have got the 2023 Zach Neto 88 insert. I'm still pulling this up here, and I'm going off of my memory here, but that was his autograph as well. Zach Neto. I haven't actually heard the name in a while, but he was a great rookie on the Angels, and I'm going to guess he's probably having a good spring. Had some good spring training games already for that to pop up on there. This card sold raw recently. They're selling in about the $50 range. We've seen a 7-day increase of 66.1% and a 30-day increase of 16.5%.
Okay, well, if they're selling that high at a raw grade, we might as well just start selling raw then, because the only record that I have here, PSA 9 sold on the 27th for $16.51.
That's more like what it should be.
Yeah, that's
But he
funny.
is. That's the thing about him is he kind of he snuck into there and he got a starting role, and he was batting towards the top of the lineup, and he was like a guy. So I
Yeah,
don't know, maybe there's some speculation to be had there, especially with with
yeah,
Trout. But I don't know about that offense without Ohtani.
yeah. It's gonna be quite a year for the Angels again.
But this is the time that is really important to pay attention if you want to maximize on the cards that you have sitting around, especially raw. You don't have time to send them away and get graded right now. Just like Mr. Infuego said, you got to sell it raw right now to get that peak. Like if you can get $50 for a Zach Neto raw
Yeah.
auto, oh my, all
I
day. Don't
actually
wait.
have
Just do it now.
I actually pulled a gold auto, a gold one of these out of a Costco box. I know I've got it stashed away somewhere. Maybe it's time to dig it out. It is time to dig it out, unless he goes crazy in 2024, which is always a gamble and a possibility. All right, guys, let's see what number 4 is. All right. 2023 Bowman Mega Box. Spencer Jones is going absolutely crazy right now in baseball. You guys may or may not have seen I think it was on Instagram. It's probably been posted everywhere. A little video of him slamming. He's just killing a baseball. Just
First home run, only 470 feet.
470 feet. Woo, buddy. All right. Recent sales. Raw. You could probably get this card raw for about $15 on eBay. We've seen a 7-day increase of 40.8% on the sales and 54.7% in the last 30 days. Gotta get my Spencers out.
I'm writing it down right now.
Yes.
I've got a lot of Spencers.
I've actually started collecting Spencer before
Yeah.
spring training, and
You've got some good ones.
I've got especially this one. The last PSA 10 sold yesterday for $77.
Not too bad.
That's
Not
nice.
too bad. All right.
Yankees
So
bump.
I'm just going to give you all a heads up right now. We're going to see a little bit of theme from here on out with the rest of the cards. You'll see if you can pick up on it. This might remind you, Mr. Fuego, Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
There we go with the 2023 Bowman's Best of 2023 autograph refractor of Spencer Jones. 7-day increase of 186.7% and a 30-day increase of 41.9%. This card raw. Wow. Recent sales are in the $125 to $150 range.
So this card hasn't been graded much. Right now, they do have one listed that sold on the 19th of February for $225.
Dang.
PSA 10.
PSA 10.
And that Bowman's
That's a
best.
lot.
What a
Bowman,
beautiful
it's a
set.
straight up
Bowman.
Bowman's best.
Yes.
Yeah.
Such a crazy amount.
That is, is it the refractor? It's a refractor. It's not
It is.
It's a refractor.
Still high, but
Yeah, crazy. All right.
hold on.
Number,
One little tidbit about
please.
Spencer Jones. So
Mhm.
he is 22 years old and 9 months. He's going to turn 23 in May. Still a prospect. Going to be 23 years old. Just to keep expectations in check. All right, that's all I had.
There we go. Yeah, good. No, good looking out. Good looking out. The people want to know. All right, we got number 2 here. What do you know? 2023 Bowman Chrome Prospect First Spencer Jones. 7-day increase of 18.7%, 30-day increase of 94.1%. Recent sales of this card raw are about $5, $6, $7.
Okay. Well, there was actually 3 PSA 10s that sold yesterday. The lowest being at $55, and on the high end, we're looking at just another $5.
This is awesome right here. If you guys do have Spencer Jones, and it looks really good. This is like an example to me, a really good example like of getting a card graded, and really if you're trying to make a little money with your baseball cards, this is where it's at right here. The Bowman Chrome First, usually if people like Spencer Jones for this example, everybody wants that Bowman Chrome First, I feel like. And if people are just getting back into collecting or just trying to get one of his cards at an affordable price, a good one, this is where it's at right here. Just my 2 cents.
Another tidbit here.
Mm-hmm.
Strikeout rate, which is very important. Career strikeout rate of about 30 to 31%, and his zips, like his projections for this year, is 33% on the zips for a strikeout rate. Something to think about. That's a lot. That's high.
To think about, and those good point, because that's, if you're trying to think about whether you should save it long term or not, that's one of the good statistics to have in the back of your mind, because he hasn't played in the majors yet, guys. And if he's striking out like that where he's at now, I don't know. There's a lot of different ways to look at it, but I'm just throwing that out there. That's a good thought. So
if he can overcome that with power, especially in that stadium, then it doesn't matter.
Right.
Because Ellie's got a really high strikeout rate too. There's a lot of guys that when they're young, they have a high strikeout rate. If you can overcome that with power or other stats, then it doesn't really matter, especially if you're a Yankee and you get a Yankees bump.
Yep, definitely.
All right, guys. Guess who's number 1? There we go with the 2023 Bowman Sapphire Edition of Spencer Jones. 7-day increase of 60.3%, 30-day increase of 99.6%. Sales, let's see. Raw, this card, I'm seeing one sold recently at 35, but I've all the way up to about 50, $35 to $50 for raw cards on that. I'm going to guess that's going to all depend upon how that card looks on eBay, the pictures you take and what have you. Because people are looking for it raw to either keep in their PC maybe, or usually to grade.
Try to make a profit.
Yeah, because Mr. Franco's going to tell us why right now. What's that?
I'm going to tell you why, because we did actually see a PSA 10 sold yesterday for $197.99.
Spencer
Base
Jones,
Sapphire PSA 10. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. So
that's kind of the hype level. If you guys notice what happens with Sapphire cards in particular, you can get to about a $350 hype level. That's what Ellie did last year. Gets up to that $350, and that is the sell point. Like right now is probably the sell point, but if you see that $350 mark, just it's time to cut bait, because when they make the bigs, they're not going to just crush forever when they get to the big leagues. They're
Look
going to
at
have a
Julio.
slump, and it's going to go, it's going to crash down to earth, and then you can pick it back up for like $100 probably, or somewhere around there.
There
So
you
just keep
go.
that in mind.
There
I mean,
you
Julio's
go.
in that same conversation. His stuff is not as expensive as it was when he first came up.
Absolutely. All right,
Yeah,
guys.
those Julio Sapphire PSA 10s were, dude, I
Yeah.
think they were way more than that. Weren't they like
definitely.
700, 800 maybe?
Oh
Mhm.
yeah. I'm gonna run this last little clip here for the podcast. We've only got a few moments left, and we'll just wrap for the last few minutes here. Banter time. And what you guys, we'll just go off what you were talking about there. And I lost it. I lost it. What we're just talking about.
Sapphire PSA 10s.
Oh, so yes. Mr. Fuego heavily collects Julio. That's his guy, his favorite. So I usually try to either send him all my Julios or whatever. And I have it. So I'm looking to get one for my own collection eventually. Just always watching the prices and stuff. And I tell you, the Sapphire, I think it's the Chrome, Bowman Chrome Sapphire, his image variation one. That's the one you picked up, Mr. Fuego, from my brother-in-law.
That card.
That is the most beautiful card image of him. And he's got a lot of baseball players. There's a few baseball players that their images on their baseball cards some are just way cooler than others. Like Ronald Acuna's always got really cool images, and
his golden mirror.
Oh
yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah. So, that's what I've got my eye on. Striker,
you like that 2022 Julio Bowman Chrome image variation Sapphire one, right? Is that what you're talking about? Where he's got, it's like the unique pose. He's kind of like a little turn to the side. Yeah, that thing's special.
It's a gorgeous card. Tell us real quick tell us about your PC, what you're hunting for right now, what you got cooking.
My PC's out of control. I gotta sell some cards. I know that much. It's just I got stacked. They're piling up. I made a deal with myself that I was only gonna fill my case. My I don't even know how many. It's sitting right next to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 5-rower deep, 5 rows. And I'm like, I can only have enough cards that fill that case, and then I'm gonna sell all the other ones. Fast forward to right now, and there's like 3 times as many. I'm stacking up slabs on top of it. I got them next to it. I got like the maybe pile. I'm pulling them out and putting a new one in, and I got to sell these.
I mean, because at one point you was heavy on Nando.
I got 2 of my rows in this thing are full of Nandos.
Yeah.
Good ones.
Yeah.
Real good ones.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, I think that Nando is going to have an MVP season this year. And I'm going to sell some of my Nandos.
I'm hoping
when that happens. I'm going to keep some of my favorites. But my thing when I was collecting Nando was I wanted all the different ones. So I was just like, ooh, Topps Finest. Ooh, like all the different ones. Bowman Firsts, Topps Chrome, even Heritage, and like Allen and Ginter. I just wanted all the different ones. And I wanted to slab them up and everything.
Right.
So I've got a lot of, and I didn't want to sell them. You know how you get with your PC.
Yeah.
I don't want to sell it. No, like, doesn't matter. Like, I'm not selling this. I opened the box. I pulled the card. I sent it away to get graded. It's back. I got the whole story, and I can't sell that.
Yeah.
There comes a time, and it's time. Preseason, spring training, where the hype train starts building. It's the time. That's the time, because as soon as the season starts getting underway and the grind hits, month or 2 deep, fizzles away a little bit. Doesn't matter how good they're doing, really. Like last year, Acuna was having an MVP season. Julio started out slow, but then he really picked it up, and his cards tanked. Bobby's cards tanked. Acuna's cards were just kind of floating there. They didn't really go up too much.
Right.
Soto had a good year, but the Padres didn't do anything. And then he got traded to the Yankees, and then his cards are just kind of still floating around. They're not like crazy. They didn't go to the moon. So right now is sell time. I'm not buying anything right now. Couple months into the season, especially if your guy has a little slump,
Yeah.
that you buy them. You don't buy when there's hype, unless you want to pay way more than they're going to be worth in a month or two.
Definitely.
That's the problem. It's because that's when you want to buy. Like, oh my god, my guy just hit
Yeah.
a home run in 3 days in a row. He's gonna hit 60 home runs this year, and you want to go out and gobble the cards up. Well, that's what everybody's thinking.
Yeah.
Then they're gone. Ding, ding, ding. Price goes up. Bump, 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 bump. So that's the fun of it, though. That's why we do this, right? It's just like
Absolutely.
a game we play.
Which, for all of y'all listening, Stryker, aside from his wonderful YouTube channel, he's got an eBay store that you guys should check out. There's a lot of cool stuff on his eBay channel. I got that all in the description.
Thank you.
So definitely check that out. Stryker, is there anything you'd like to let everybody know before we start to wrap this up here? We're at that hour mark, and I don't want to keep you too long. I'm not 100% sure if we're going to see you later tonight on Mr. Fuego's channel. So
yeah, I'm going to swing through. I'm going to come with you guys over to the next show.
Okay. So, guys,
as far as anything to talk about, not really. StrikerBreaks.com. It's just my website. There's nothing crazy there, but I've got the Hall hits. So some of the best hits that we get on the breaks, I take a picture of and put it on there. And some of the custom cards I've made that I give away to the Slammers, my Patreon group. I've got pictures of some of those through the years, and just kind of fun.
Yeah, and that's another thing I want to let you all know. If you guys ever want to get into one of Stryker's breaks, he does have a Patreon that you join. You could be a slammer and get in on those breaks. And you can see him open up boxes with a bill hook. And Clayton Claus makes a lot of appearances.
Bud Selig is always there.
Yeah, I love all that stuff. I have I kind of stole that tradition a little bit. I like to take my little good luck charms, little things that my niece made me, and let them soak on the thing. I got that from your channel 100%. I haven't found a cool knife to open with yet, but I love watching the bill hook, stuff like that. So awesome. So you guys, Stryker, thank you so much for coming on the Baseball Junkies podcast. And you guys, if you tune into Mr. Enfuego's channel in about a half hour on over there, where all of us are going to be over there for a little bit, doing the after hour show. We'll answer more of your personal questions from the audience and stuff like that over there. Mind blown.
Loose.
Mind blown.
I want to I want to get into the mind real quick of the black belt of the hobby. Just had to get it out there, and to show off on the right note. So with everything that you know about the sport and the hobby now, Stryker, what is it that you can tell young collectors or your younger self about collecting as they're coming up to that age where they're kind of like in our little realm?
Well, first of all, you collect who you like. Don't listen to what anybody else says. You don't have to collect the most expensive guy or whatever. Just collect what you enjoy. There could be a guy that nobody cares about, but he plays for your team, and maybe he's a prospect that's never going to make it or whatever. Just collect what you enjoy and have fun with it. And another thing, if you like to open boxes, you want to open boxes and you really don't know where to start and you don't have a lot of information and it's overwhelming, because it is overwhelming, start by looking at the checklist and figure out where the rookies are that you're looking for, because it's kind of all about rookies. At least for most people, it's all about collecting rookies, because players are going to have so many cards by the time it's all said and done, and it gets really muddy, lost in the shuffle. So if you're wondering about like what release is good, what should I be opening, look at the checklist, look for the rookies, because you might think that, say, for example, you're looking for Jackson Holiday. You're like, ooh, Jackson Holiday is going to have a rookie. Well, he might not be in the release that you're looking to buy that just came out. So wait, do your research. Don't jump into anything without knowing what you're doing and what you're opening.
Appreciate the words of wisdom.
Thank you so much again.
Yeah, definitely.
We're gonna wrap this puppy up and see you guys over on the after hour show. Stryker, again, thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you over there. And you guys all have a great night.